Hi, my name is Elijah Jai, and as you can see today, I don't have anybody to watch me do my speech, so I apologize for that, Professor. But today I want to talk to you about Jordan brand shoes. Throughout history, there have been many different forms of shoes that have risen in basketball community. The majority of the people used to play in Chuck Taylors, Adidas. Finally, in 1966, a name by the man named Michael Jordan came along and changed everything. Since then, the majority of basketball players, such as myself, have chosen to wear the Nike brand. More prominent as Jordan shoes. They came in many different series, retros, team Jordans, and every other treasure fusions. The first type of Jordan I'm going to dwell to you is the most important type, which is the retro Jordans. Excuse me. Michael Jordan sets the stage with these type of shoes in which he played throughout his career, starting in 1986 with the Air Jordan Retro 1. From then out, Jordan shoes no longer bear the Nike symbol on them. They will wear Jordan symbols, and it brings up the point about the retro shoes. They show and hintage speak. Excuse me, my screen went blank. Sorry about that. Because of this, these shoes are very rare and they release limited numbers each year. In order to obtain these shoes, you will have to have some knowledge of the shoes company as well, you know, and as well as having company as well as having knowledge of the company also. You will need to come out of your pocket for these shoes. It costs a lot of money, and retros are around $175, pretty much. You may ask, you may ask as much as for those, but you know, you may ask why such sneakers cost that much. But you go back, you take a look at the history of these shoes, you'll see why a man of his stature, you'll find out why these shoes cost so much. They show no knowledge of the brand too, but they are the most expensive. And finally, three, they are the most fashionable. With that being said, let me discuss the Jordan, which the second team, but are far from the first. Team Jordans are signature shoes. This means that they are shoes that are worn by athletes and are sponsored by Jordans. These athletes include, but not are limited to, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Juwan Howard, and the list goes on. Rip Hamilton. Team Jordan is not a fashionable or as a retros, but serves specific purpose, such as playing basketball in them. You can dress in them. You can pretty much do about anything you want with those Jordan shoes. The reason why these shoes get so much hype is due to the fact that they're worn by elite athletes mentioned above, as I mentioned. Kids around the world these days wear these shoes just because of these athletes that wear them, and also Michael Jordan. Giving rise to the anthem, I wanna be like Mike. Now let me move into the third one and the final category, which is the Fusion Jordan, by the way. The Fusion are hybrid of casual Nike Jordans and retro Jordans. Now, these are the lowest form of Jordan you can purchase. You may ask, how can these be when they are hybrid of the retro Jordans? But the reason being is that people try to wear these as a replacement from the retro Jordan. And if you have knowledge about Jordan, then you know this is a this is not pretty much like a cardinal sin. It really is, because retro Jordan and the Fusion Jordan doesn't look nothing like. You will see that. Sometimes I see guys, I see guys mix Nike shoes. I mean, Nike tennis shoes with Jordans. it doesn't go well. Jordan are a classic, pretty much. Among the community, pretty much like according when I was a kid, we used to wear Jordans like it was just like we used to compete for them pretty much. We used to spend the night when we find out the days that the Jordans would come out. We would spend the night. I was at that specific store, wait in line the whole night just to be the first one to wear them, and that's how important it is. And since 1986, has not only changed the way Jordan has not only changed the way that the game is played, but it has changed the fashion and how clean you have to look when you play the game of basketball. Richard Jordans are not only fashion but sneakerheads, but they're also collective items. Also, by the way, yeah, and it costs a lot of money, and it will cost a lot the longer you save them. Whether it be retros, Team Jordan, or whoever hated Fusion, or the so hated Fusions, Jordan have shaped the basketball community and became a symbol as well. Thank you. Now that's my. Once again, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties that I was having, but I live by myself, so I don't have four people that I can present this speech with. But I hope you guys enjoy it when you take a look at it. And again, sorry to my professor. So hopefully I get a good grade on this. Thanks a lot.